All right, Shalom. Before we start, I'm going to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to you, the hopeful elect. And shalom to the tabernacle of David. All right, I'm back with another video. And the title of this video will be called Famines, Pestilence, and Earthquakes in Diverse Places. All right, famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All right, and clearly, if you know, I got that from the scripture Matthew 24:6. Matter of fact, let's go to that real quick. All right, we can always get others. Matthew 24, because this is when Yahweh Shai, all right, who the world inly calls Jesus Christ. All right, his name was Yahweh Shai. He was a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah. All right, so his name was not Jesus Christ. His name not you know Yahuwah, Yehoshua, none of that. All right, it was Yahweh Shai. All right, but this is when he was on the scene about 2,000 years ago with his disciples who became apostles. All right, and they asked him, when will they were asking him when will the signs of your return, the signs of your return, when will that be, right? I'll start at verse 3, Matthew 24:3. And as he said upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? You see? So they were asking these questions of what will be the signs and the end of this world, right? And Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah. All right, I am the anointed. And shall deceive many. You got that already. You got bug outs out here saying that they are walking around saying that they're the Messiah, you know. So you got people and they have a following. And they say they're gonna deceive many. Many have been deceived by that, and we pray and hope that the Lord, continues to keep that spirit on us to not get deceived by these many, enchantments that, Esau's doing or these other people out here who claim to be in the truth are doing. Right? Verse 5 it says, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and shall deceive many. Verse 6, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, and we hearing of these wars. All right, war talks. World War III is stirring up. The Lord is messing up the host of the battle. All right, the Russian Ukraine, China and Taiwan situation, right? And Taiwan just got hit by a massive earthquake, and we're gonna get into that. But verse 7 is the point. It says, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So it's gonna be, all over the place. We seeing that. We seeing earthquakes all over the world. We seeing upcoming pestilence, diseases, right? And we seeing these some sort of a famine. It's like you're watching this car. So okay, but yeah, we seen these, this type of famine. We're gonna see a famine to come. All right. So let's read that again. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All right. So we got that. We can get always get another one. But I got these articles pulled up. All right. First, we're gonna deal with this. Fierce earthquake rattles Taiwan, killing 9 and injuring more than 1,000. All right. It says the strongest earthquake in a quarter century rocked Taiwan Wednesday morning, killing 9 people, stranding dozens at quarries and a national park, Slovakia, and sending some residents scrambling out of the windows of damaged buildings. The quake, which injured more than 1,000, struck just before 8 a.m. and was centered off the coast of rural. It says was centered off the coast of rural mountainous Hualien County, so I can pronouncing that wrong, where some buildings lean at severe angles. Their ground floors crushed. Just over 150 kilometers, 93 miles away, in the capital of Taipei, tiles fell from older buildings, and schools evacuated students to sports fields as aftershocks followed. It says rescuers fanned out in Hua Lane looking for people who may be trapped and using excavators to stabilize damaged buildings. The number of people missing, trapped, or stranded fluctuated as authorities learned of more in trouble and worked to locate or free them. You see, and they got the intense earthquake strikes Taiwan. Taiwan's strongest earthquake in a quarter century rocked the island just before 8 a.m. on Wednesday. You see, and it starts from the outer. You know, the blue is light, the green is moderate, the yellow is strong, the orange is severe, and the violet is red. And that you see in the middle, you know, it's more of the orange, so it's severe, you know. And as it goes out, it gets less and less. It says some 70 workers who were stranded at 2 rock quarries were safe, according to Taiwan's National Fire Agency, but the roads to reach them were damaged by falling rocks. 6 workers were going to be airlifted on Thursday. In the hours after the quake, TV showed neighbors and rescue workers lifting residents, including a toddler, through windows and onto the street. Some doors have fused shut in the shaking. It says Taiwan and regularly jolted by quakes. So they get regular. It's regular for these things to happen. You know. Let me read that again. It says Taiwan is regularly jolted by quakes, and its population is among the best prepared for them. But authorities expected a relatively mild earthquake and did not send out alerts. The eventual quake was strong enough to scare even people who are used to the shaking. And it was a 7.4. The last one was in 2000, was a 7.7. Man. It said the strongest quake recorded each day of at least a 5.0 magnitude since April 1990. So the last strong one was around 2000, 1999. Between that, it was 7.7. I'll read a little bit more, which is this is actually in the article. It says, I've grown accustomed to earthquakes, but today was the first time I was scared to tears by an earthquake, said Soon Ken. You know, I'm not good with these names. It says, who lives in the 5th floor apartment in Taipei. You know, and they had a lot of tall buildings. You know, that's not good if there's an earthquake. You want to get out quick. You know, it says, I was awakened by the earthquake. I have never felt such intense shaking before. At least 9 people died in the quake, according to Taiwan's fire agency. Most of the fatalities were caused by falling rocks, including 4 people who struck inside Taroko National Park. According to the state central news agency, 1 died in the residential building that was damaged, the news agency said. So a 7.4 earthquake hit Taiwan, and it was a tsunami that followed it. See if I can get that real quick. See that? Let's go to this real quick. Taiwan's strongest earthquake in 25 years kills at least 9 people. You know, let me just read that. I want to see you. I want to see something about the tsunami that came behind it, but we can look at a video.
Tonight, rescuers racing to reach those trapped after a massive earthquake in Taiwan, pulling people out of buildings, even out of vehicles, with authorities now focusing.
Let me start it over just in case y'all can't hear it. You know how these things, if you stay tuned, I'm gonna mute myself.
Tonight, rescuers racing to reach those trapped after a massive earthquake in Taiwan, pulling people out of buildings, even out of vehicles, with authorities now focusing on getting to those still stuck under the rubble. With reports tonight, 71 workers are trapped in 2 mines. The earthquake struck during the morning rush hour, causing buildings to shake and sway. This woman saying it felt like her house would collapse. The magnitude 7.4 quake jolting the island. Rooftop swimming pools churned, water pouring down this building. Video filmed inside a moving train showing huge landslides, items toppling off store shelves. The televisions in this newsroom started to shake. The most powerful earthquake to hit Taiwan in a quarter century. More than 1,000 people are injured. Taiwan's president-elect saying the top priority is to rescue people and get them treatment. The hardest hit area around Hualien, just 11 miles from the epicenter. That's where American Annie Lima was when it hit.
Around 8 o'clock this morning, and the whole world starts shaking. What was it like?
It was pretty scary. In all the years that I've lived here and in Southern California before that, I've felt a lot of earthquakes, but this was by far the strongest and the most frightening. And it just went on and on. I think it was close to 2 minutes. And as soon as the shaking stopped, we ran to get out of the apartment.
Dozens of people are still trapped along roads, tunnels, and hiking trails cut off by landslides. In Hualien, some buildings now leaning precariously, and crews already working to demolish them.
Janice, we recognize they're still very early in the search and rescue here, but it appears the early warning systems in place made a difference.
Lester, they had cell phone alerts that went out. They're accustomed to having earthquakes there. And that it happened during the day when people were awake appeared to help. Tonight, the focus is on search and rescue. But the challenge, there have been more than 200 aftershocks so far, and rain is in the forecast, which could complicate efforts. Lester?
All right, so you heard it, you've seen it. All right, hit by a 7.4 magnitude, and I'm trying to find that. You know, it's all right. You know, if I can't get it right now, but yeah, man, these things are. We know who caused this. We should all know who did it. All right, it was of the Heavenly Father. All right, now you got some who would say, you know, Esau using their harp. You know, it could be true. All right, but who gave him that technology to do that? The Most High, Yahweh, He did it. All right, because what is He? Let's get it real quick. All right, because people say God is good all the time. All right, and yes, the Lord is merciful. All right, He is good, but He has a left-hand side. All right, He's balanced. Isaiah 45, getting straight to the point in 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, do all these things. All right, the Lord does all this. So He has a good side and an evil side, and He caused that earthquake. All right, He caused it. You know, and like I said, people would say it was the harp, you know, that Esau used, but who gave him that? All right, it was the Heavenly Father, right? Let's get, well, I'm going to save that. Let's go back over here. Let's go to the end time headlines. And everybody, you know, and don't forget, you know, we got other things coming up that you know, a lot of things is going on the earth right now. All right, and it's a good time to be in. All right, our spirits are high. You know, we're seeing the signs. All right, we're seeing all these things happen around the earth. Right. Once in a lifetime comet dubbed Mother of Dragons will precede solar eclipse. Let's look at this real quick. All right. It says I was gonna make this into a news and prophecy, but you know, I might. Y'all never know. It says once in a lifetime, a comet dubbed Mother of Dragons will proceed solar eclipse. Before Monday's solar eclipse happens, eagle-eyed skygazers will have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see a rare green comet dubbed the Mother of Dragons in the night sky. According to astronomers, Comet 12P/Pons Brooks is viewable at night from the northern hemisphere in early April. Larger than Mount Everest, it should appear as a green blob with a hazy tail as it makes its first visit to the inner solar system in 71 years. To see Comet 12P Pons Brook, look westward at the night sky and find the constellation of the stars as Aries the ram, which forms a loose V shape. Over the next few weeks, it will keep moving west towards Orion, the constellation that looks like the great mythical hunter. The comet can now be found in the constellation of Aries, which is visible in the early evening over in the west, Gregory Brown, astronomer at the Royal Observatory, Greenwich, told Mail Online. It will only become visible after twilight and sets. Salaki. It will only become visible after twilight and sets by around 10 p.m. BST. While it may be possible to see with the unaided eye, it is best to try and observe with a pair of binoculars or a small telescope. It says at the moment, it is getting progressively closer to the sun and the earth as it's pulled by the gravity of our star. On April 21st, it will come as close as 72.5 million miles, 116.8 million kilometers to the sun, while a close approach with Earth of 144 of 144 miles, a million miles. All right, which will happen on June 2nd. And you can read the rest of this. All right, I'll put it in the link description. All right, so hey, signs in the heavens. All right, but let's get back to the topic at hand. All right, come on. All right, which is what I say: famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. So we're seeing these things happen around the world, man. All right, bird flu outbreak rising, concerns that dairy and beef demand may be impacted. Right. This is a virus that has killed millions of birds and spreading among U.S. dairy cows, raising concerns that the outbreak may hurt demand for dairy and beef. While the U.S. Department of Agriculture has said there's little safety risk, the outbreak is unsettling the industry, with cattle and milk prices taking a hit. There's concern some shoppers will balk at drinking milk or eating beef, which, cow milk really isn't, you shouldn't be really drinking that stuff. It's not really good for humans, You should more drink, like goat milk. All right. Cow milk isn't, that's made for cows, not for human consumption, right? It says the risks to consumer demand for dairy. Let me read that again, Salakia. Slow down, a little excited. It says risks to consumer demand for dairy are prevalent in conversations. Stone X Group Inc. analyst Dave Krasowski said in a note to clients. He added that while there are big risks on the table, the impact of our illness on buyer behavior is unclear. Bird flu has been confirmed in dairy cows across several states, with the USDA saying Monday it has been found in New Mexico and 5 additional herds in Texas. The virus has even affected a person in Texas, while the biggest U.S. food egg producer idled a plant after the virus was found in the facility. Right, and I've been hearing about that, for the past couple of days. This U.S. Big U.S. egg producers, closing down or something like that, right? It says, read that again. The virus has infected, right here. Pull it up, highlight it for you. It says the virus has infected a person in Texas, while the biggest U.S. egg producer idled a plant after the virus was found in the facility. It says the infection of cows by the same virus strain that emerged in Europe in 2020 and has since caused an unprecedented number of deaths in wild birds and poultry globally is also raising concerns on the supply side. It says infected Texas dairy cattle are experiencing decreased lactation and low appetite, with older cows more likely to be severely impacted. Some herds have reported pneumonia and clinical mastitis and an inflammatory disease, the Texas Animal Health Commission said by email, right? It says most animals seem to recover in as many as 2 weeks with supported care, albeit with reduced milk production levels, all right? It says some cows may never see their milk production recover to pre-infection levels, in which case they might be called, according to the High Ground Dairy Report Monday. The longer term impact on supply is not entirely clear, as farmers are trying to maintain herd inventories in a time of tight cattle supplies, it said. For individual farmer who has already been struggling with the low prices and low margins, Even a small amount of lost production adds another challenge, according to Alan Jurga. It says Executive Vice President of Communications and Industry Relations at the National Milk Producers Federation. But he added that the overall impact of the industry should be mild. All right, so they got that going on. You know, a bird flu outbreak. You know, the pestilence. They said somebody already caught it. See if I can get that real quick. Yeah, bird flu forces major U.S. Egg producer to kill 2 million chickens. I want to see if I can pull up. Somebody already got it. Bird. Let me see. Yeah, it says that's from USA Today. Human case of bird flu detected in Texas after outbreak of a virus among cattle. It says last week, I read a little bit. Less than a week after sick dairy cattle in Texas and Kansas tested positive for bird flu, Texas state officials reported that a person in the state has been infected with the virus after coming into close contact with the infected cows. It says the Texas Department of State Health Services said in a news alert Monday that the patient became ill following contact with dairy cows presumed to be infected with avian influenza, and that their primary symptoms was conjunctivitis, also known as pink eye. Officials said it is the first human case of the highly pathogenic strain of affluenza in Texas and the second in the U.S. They said it is believed to be associated with the recent detections of influenza H5N1 in dairy cows. All right, so they saying that the first human already has it. All right, it says bird flu forces major U.S. egg producer to kill 2 million chickens. All right, it says and you see down here, are we seeing more evidence of a manufactured food supply crisis? And all these bridges falling. You know, there was the Baltimore Bridge, and they said it was one in Ohio that caught fire that same day. All right, it was I believe it was one in Oklahoma Oklahoma Bridge was damaged. All right, and one fell in I believe I forgot where it was at, but one collapsed, another one collapsed. You know, so all these things are happening when that could be we believe that could be planned. Because we want to bring a food crisis. All right, we believe Esau. We're not. Let's get it real quick. We're not ignorant of his devices. That's 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We know what he's planning. We know what he's trying to do. All right. And these are just fear tactics to scare the people. All right. This is this is Esau just doing what he does. Right. Let's read this a little bit. Biden administration officials say they are monitoring the bird flu outbreak that recently resulted in a cow to human infection and an egg producer being forced to kill 2 million chickens. All right, and they got this pulled up on X. All right, which is formerly Twitter. The White House is on red alert for bird flu after health officials received a Texan dairy farmer caught a deadly bird flu strain from a cow. Officials are now receiving regular updates from HHS and USDA. It says, let's go down here. Earlier this week, the country's largest chicken egg producer said it had temporarily halted production at a Texas plant due to the chickens coming down with bird flu. The plant said it was forced to cull almost 2 million hens. Right? It says an egg facility in Michigan was also reportedly hit with a bird flu outbreak this week. So far, Texas, Kansas, Idaho, Ohio, and Michigan are the only states InfoWars can report have confirmed outbreaks in cattle. You see that? It says if the outbreak spreads out of control, it will be a auspiciously convenient event for the global elite who want humans to consume less animal-based food and instead eat Z-bugs, you know. And right here, companies are now using insect protein. You will eat the bugs. All right. And I'll leave you can read, well, that was the end of the other article. All right, now let's get into these scriptures. All right. Let's get second Esdras 16. Matter of fact, let's read this first, because I already got it. At second Esdras 6. I'll start at 20. I'll start at 19. And when, Salaki, yeah. Second Esdras 6, 19. Matter of fact, 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be Salakia. It says, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world shall begin to vanish away, shall be finished, then I will show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see altogether. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. Verse 22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give sound, which every man heareth. They shall be suddenly afraid, you know. So these storehouses are gonna, let's get this in the GNT. All right. Real quick. Second Esdras 6 and go straight to the point in verse 20. And when the seal is placed upon the age which is about to pass away, then I will show these signs. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and all shall see it together. Infants a year old shall speak with their voices, and women with child shall give birth to premature children at 3 and 4 months, and they shall live and dance. Sown places shall suddenly appear unsown, and full storehouses shall be found. Salakia. Sown places shall suddenly appear unsown, and full storehouses shall suddenly be found to be empty. And the trumpet shall sound aloud, and when all hear it, they shall suddenly be terrified. You see that? So these storehouses, which you know that these farms and stuff, they're gonna be empty, man, because that's where the food comes from. You know, when you see when you go like the Walmart and Safeway or Costco, Whole Foods, that's where they get the products from. These farms, that's where they come from. You know, when the farms stop, producing, these stores are gonna stop. They're gonna be the shelves are gonna be empty. So these storehouses are gonna be empty, man, real soon. That famine. All right. Let's get second Esdras 16. All right. 16 and I'm gonna start at 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? You know, it's the prophet Ezra saying this. All right. So he's saying, hey, who's gonna deliver me in those days? So which means Ezra is what? He's back here on the earth, doing what he's supposed to do. We don't know who he is, but he was a man of the Lord. All right. It says, behold, verse 19, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So all this famine, these earthquakes, this is just these are just signs that we're seeing. All right, the signs in the heavens and on the earth. All right, these are the signs of the Lord's return. All right, but a lot of things still have to happen before he comes back. All right, but we can see let's get real quick. Which one I want to get? Let's see what Luke 12 real quick. It's Luke 12 and Let's read this. Luke 12 and 54. It says, and he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? You see that? Let's read it in the NLT. It says, verse 54 NLT, then Yahushua turned to the crowd and said, when you see clouds beginning to form in the west, you say, here comes a shower, and you are right. When the south wind blows, you will say, today will be a scorcher, and it is. You fools, you know how to interpret the weather. Salak, let me read that again. You fools, you know how to interpret the weather signs of the earth and sky, but you don't know how to interpret the present times. Exactly. They don't know. People can interpret the weather and how it's gonna feel, but you can't interpret the times that we're in right now. The signs that's going on around the earth. Let's go to Matthew real quick. Drop down. Matthew 24 and 32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth his leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. You see that? Know that the time of our Lord returning is near, man. The kingdom of the Most High, the kingdom of Yahweh is on the way. All right, it's getting close. Verse 32 NLT. Now learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches bud and its leaves begin to sprout, you know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see all these things, you can know his return is very near, right at the door. Right, the Yahushua's return is getting closer and closer. We see that. All right, by discerning the times that we're in. All right, and Second Esdras 9 tells you that. All right, what else I was gonna go? Oh yeah, let's get this in the GNT. Or what is this? This is the RSVA, which is good. Second Esdras 16 and 17, the RSVA. Alas for me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows, when there shall be much lamentation. The beginning of famine, when many shall perish. The beginning of wars, when the power shall be terrified. The beginning of calamities, when all shall tremble. What shall they do in these circumstances when the calamities come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for the correction of men. All right, famine and plague and tribulation is coming, man. All right, and we see the earthquakes happening. All right, so these are like I said, these are the signs that we're seeing. Right. Now let's get one more. Isaiah 29. And verse 6, it says, I started at verse 1. Jerusalem is warned. All right, woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt. Add ye year to year, let them kill sacrifices. Now, Ariel is just another name for Jerusalem. Right? Let's get that real quick. Ariala, right? And there's, the other Ariala from GMS Dallas. All right. But, it says Ariel or Ariala, lion of God or lioness of God. All right, a name applied to Jerusalem. You see that? So it's a name applied to Jerusalem, which Jerusalem is a people, force, or place. All right, you see that? Ariel, a symbolic name for Jerusalem, also the name of an Israelite. So when you see that, it's just a symbolic name for Jerusalem. All right, Ariel, Ariala. It says, woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt. Add ye year to year, let them kill sacrifices. Yet I will distress Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel. And I will camp against thee round about, and will lay siege against thee with a mount, and I will raise forts against thee. And thou shalt be brought down, and shalt speak out of the ground, and thy speech shall be low out of the dust, and thy voice shall be as of one that hath a familiar spirit out of the ground, and thy speech shall whisper out of the dust. Moreover, the multitude of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of the terrible ones shall be as chaff that passeth away. Yea, it shall be at an instant suddenly. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. All right, and this is going to happen again. You know, and we see it. Like over in Taiwan, they had a tsunami, but I can't find it. But it was an earthquake and a tsunami that followed up after that. You know, and in other many places there are earthquakes happening. All right, storms over in California. You know, floodings, rock slides, landslides. All these things are happening, man, in the earth. All right, let's read this in the get the NLT for it. NLT. It says, I, the Lord, having the armies, will act for you with thunder and earthquake and a great noise, with whirlwind and storm and consumption and consuming of fire. All right, and and that fire is going to come soon, man. What's that fire going to come from? Those nuclear warheads. All right, nuclear destruction is going to burn America, Babylon the Great up, with 2/3 of our people in it. All right, so, hey, man, famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places, and we seeing that. All right, so I want to see if I had any more, if I had something else real quick. No, that might have been it. All right, so hey, Lord willing, this was edifying to you brothers and sisters out there. All right, that watch. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachal Quadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. All right, shalom to the tabernacle with David. All right, Lord willing, it was edifying. Until the next video, shalom.